Welcome, folks, once again to another episode of the WrestleCord News Break. I'm your host, Ryan. It's May 19th, 2026, and let's get into some of the headlines in the world of pro wrestling and MMA. Last night's Raw from the Greensboro Coliseum started off with an explosive encounter between Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Jacob Fatu. In short order, punches were being thrown, and Fatu was left to fend off a 3-on-1 beatdown. I'm sorry, who's the heel and the face in this whole thing? Despite the numbers game, Fatu and Preston seemed unstoppable. Eventually, he couldn't hold the onslaught off long enough and was left in the ring battered. As the Usos and Roman went to leave, Fatu pulled himself together enough to lay out a challenge for tribal combat. Reigns accepted. Up next, a battle of protege and mentor with J.D. McDonough going up against Finn Balor in a street fight. The last time these two met in the ring, it was interference behind the ref's back that would help J.D. pull out the win. This time around, anything would go, and these men really took that to heart as they battled all over the arena, with JD even diving off some scaffolding at one point. There were tables, chairs, kendo sticks, and even Dirty Dom. In the end, none of it was enough to keep the former Judgment Day leader down, as he was able to hit the coup de grace through a trash can onto McDonough to get the win. We hear from Seth Rollins in the back, who says after 9 months away from Raw, he's ready to get back into action tonight, and he challenges any member of the Vision to stand toe-to-toe with him in the main event. We get an encounter in the back between Sol Ruca and IC champion Becky Lynch that would move to the ring. Sol Ruca wants a piece of Becky in Greensboro, but Becky backs down and keeps telling Sol to go back to NXT. Eventually, Lynch says that Sol should think again about her challenge, and if she really wants it, she could have Becky at Saturday night's main event. Well, that sounds familiar. Then in a nothing burger of a backstage segment, we have the Vision with Braun Breaker accepting Seth's challenge. But Paul Heyman wants it to be Austin Theory and Seth Rollins tonight. Can we please get back to the wrestling yet? In trios action, Los Original Americanos battle Los Nuevos Americanos in tornado tag action. Great ring work here, but this reporter couldn't care less about this whole thing. Can we please just get to the mask versus mask match and be done with it already? In the end, Los Nuevos do get the win after a 3-on-1 assault on Bruto. After a commercial break, there's more backstage segment. Who really cares? Not me. And also, Joe Henry does his rendition of his hit song about Logan Paul. Moving on, we go to an interview with All Eagle Ethan Page conducted by Michael Cole. Cole does a piss poor job, but what other job does Cole ever do? Cole tries to put over how long he's been in the business, but yet he still can't seem to do a good job here. Ethan Page tells him that there is room for improvement. I think we all agree with that. Page would go on to say that when he wins the IC belt from Penta, he'll rename it the Ethan Page Championship. What? Why not the All Ego Championship? Come on, Page, you really dropped the ball on that one. Back to the ring, we have the Women's Tag Team Champions being challenged by Judgment Day. It's Paige and Bria against Roxanne and Raquel with Liv at ringside. The Judgment Day truly look like big stars here, and as far as I'm concerned, it's about time for the titles to change hands. Fortunately, we didn't get that here tonight, folks. Liv would get caught trying to give the assist and get herself ejected. This distracted Roxanne long enough for Brie to give her a roll-up and get the 1-2-3. After the match, Liv would come back in to help Raquel and Roxanne beat down the champions. Bayley and Lara Valkyria would come in to make the save, for some reason. Another crappy backstage segment, and we move to the Obafemi Open Challenge. This would become the biggest news of the night, as we'd see the return of Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate would blindside the ruler during his entrance. Lesnar would hit not one, but 2 F5s, leaving Obafemi lying in the middle of the ring. Why didn't he go for the pin? I thought this was an open challenge. I haven't the faintest idea. After another commercial break on the premium subscription service, we have Raw GM Pierce backstage talking to Shane Helms about quote-unquote retirement paperwork filed by Brock Lesnar, and that Shane needs to get to the bottom of it. I'm not sure what the hell Hurricane is expected to do about it. Adam would head into his office to see Paul Heyman, who would inform him that Brock was indeed retired. Yeah, for 2 months. And now he wants to come back. This sounds awfully familiar. Paul hands Adam a contract for Brock to be at Clash in Italy to face Obafemi. Another backstage segment, this one seeming to set up a clash between Street Profits and the Vision at Saturday night's main event. Finally, it is main event time. Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory. It was a match that happened at the end of the show. Seth wins with the pedigree and the show ends. Oh wait, folks, I'm being told no, we're not done yet. The Vision delivers a beatdown to Seth, Street Profits get involved, but it's not enough to save Rollins, who ends up almost decapitated by a set of ring steps. Security would stop right at the last moment, and the show would go off the air. Prior to April 1st, there were lots of rumors going around about Chris Jericho possibly returning to WWE. Instead, Jericho would show up on Dynamite in front of a loud Canadian crowd. Recently, Jericho sat down with David Shoemaker of Ring of Wrestling and addressed the speculation. The Ayatollah of Rock and Roll would say, well, the interesting thing about fans, and going back to what we said earlier about having a career where you can watch anything online, is that fans, in this day and age, they form their own opinions. And then it becomes law, because the opinions spread. So whatever people believed or didn't believe, it's like I was never ever a part of any of it. You know what I mean? History Porter does not. However, he would continue saying, I think the best part is there was so much speculation of what is he going to do, that either way, with the tribalism of wrestling nowadays, there would be people happy about it and not happy about it. And this is the worst thing ever. I guess having an opinion, that is. He would continue saying, and this is the best thing ever. I've never really focused on that side of like, this is terrible and it's never going to work. Because to me, anything can work. And you always want to do your best to make it work. I focus on the people who are excited about things and the people who want to be entertained and want to be happy and want to have fun. That's kind of the crowd that I focus on. Recently, Jericho has had his hands full with the demand in AEW, who will team up with the Dolls and Don Callis family members Mark Davis and Andrade to take on Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite's Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Jack Perry in Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing on May 24th. In Ultimate Fighting news, Colby Covington has apparently told the Dana White promotion that he is retired. Colby is probably most recognized for his racism and love of everything that is Donald Trump. Those two things kind of seem to go together, I guess. He, however, is also an accomplished fighter, being a former UFC welterweight champion. The news was first posted on the UFC website and then later confirmed through ESPN by Brett Okamoto. Tomorrow we'll have Day 4 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. New Japan Pro Wrestling's round-robin showcase of the best of the junior heavyweight division. In the B block, Kushida takes on Jacob Austin Young. Robbie Eagles faces Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Taisha Ishimori versus Daisuke Sasaki. El Desperado battles Hayo, and Yo takes on Sho. A block sees Daiki Nagai battle Jun Kasai. Ryuzuki Taguchi takes on Nick Wayne. Titan versus Valiente Jr. Master Wato goes up against Francesco Akira, and in the main event, Robbie X versus Kosei Fujita. You can catch all the exciting action on NJPWWorld.com starting tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Tonight's NXT on the CW network will feature the in-ring debut of Mason Rook as he teams with Cam Hendricks to do battle with North American champion Miles Bourne and NXT champ Tony D'Angelo. Keanu Carter takes on Tate Wilder of the Vanity Project. Also, Tatum Paxley puts her North American belt on the line against the newbie Lizzie Rain. In more title action, the tag straps are up for grabs with the champions Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes of the Vanity Project taking on Dark State's Dion Lennox and Sugars. We'll get another in-ring debut. This time it's Tristan Angels hoping to get a win in his first NXT match. And with that, folks, we're at the end of today's WrestleCord News Break. I'm Ryan, signing off, hoping to see you all again tomorrow.